Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Warcraft 3 replay cast. And today it is a 1 vs 1 on Twisted Meadows between our gray undead player with spirit souls, or otherwise Lucifer. And on the left side, we have our yellow night elf player who is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, who is actually Sonik. And we're going to go ahead and speed this on up to the 8x mark, and it is cross spawns. So it is going to be quite the aggressive game, I'd like to imagine. And just about the 2x mark is when all the heroes come out and all the good stuff starts to happen. We have the Warden that is already down here with the Ancient of War creeping out the Null Overseer camp. We'll see the Death Knight decides to come out and harass rather than bring some ghouls and creep. And the Overseer is almost about to fall. Plus of attack, +6. Very nice item for the Warden to grab. And the Ghoul and the Acolyte has spotted everything that's going on. The Death Knight trying to find something good to Death Coil and steal. And not going to happen there. And wanted to steal the main creep out of the group, but was a little bit too late to the show. And now the Warden will fall soon. Just going to let the Archer take care of that. Otherwise, don't get the experience if the Ancient of the War kills it. Now, by proxy, level 2 Warden. And the Death Knight in a little bit of trouble now. Going to take some damage. But the Ghouls are coming soon. And has that aura first. So cannot Death Coil. That was my bad. I thought he was going to try and come over and harass in Death Coil and steal something, but he can't do that because he chose Unholy Aura first. Gonna get a skeletal minion kill for a little tiny bit of experience, and quite a bit of ghouls here to have to deal with. And now the Death Knight trying to back off, gonna try and get a surround on the Warden there, and wasn't quite successful. And I'm not quite sure if the Warden took Blink as her second ability or not. Sometimes people like to get Fan of Knives and Shadow Strike. And is now completely surrounded, and did get Blink the second move, which is the usual case, and probably the smarter case in most instances. And now the Warden going to go over to the Goblin Merchant camp and perhaps buy some Boots of Speed, indeed. And now is super quick. Death Knight really not doing too well. Doesn't have too much experience, hasn't really killed anything so far in the game, and may get himself an Archer kill there. Ghoul went down for the Warden, even more experience for the Warden now, about 2 1/5 of the way to level 3. Finally got an Archer kill there. And Warden gonna Shadow Meld, and gonna try and coax out another Dust of Appearance from the Death Knight, but not gonna have that. And hits a Ghoul with a Shadow Strike, doing pretty big damage. And gonna try and get that Ghoul, but I'm not sure if that's gonna happen. Warden very low on health, 250 health out of 600. And another Shadow Strike wouldn't quite kill the Ghoul. I'm not really.
Player's forces are under attack.
It's questionable, but it would slow it down and would be able to get an auto attack on it, which would certainly kill it. And now a second hero out for Lucifer as the Naga Sea Witch. Ancient War out and about, and all by his lonesome. The Archers going back. Don't really want any of that Death Knight and Ghoul beef. Now a Naga Sea Witch for
forces are under attack.
Sonik now, so two pretty much the same hero. Naga Sea Witch. Two Naga Sea Witches both hitting each other with ice arrows there. Naga Sea Witch gets surrounded by the ghouls, so will fall. Will give the Death Knight quite a bit of experience. Still not level 2 though. Finishes off the other Sea Witch, so both Sea Witches die instantly. Very interesting gameplay there. And Warden level 2.5 now. A bit over 2.5 rather. So almost on the way to level 3. And once she is level 3, we'll have level 2 Shadow Strike, which will do tons of damage, especially if he continues to use ghouls.
Are under attack.
And now it looks like they're going to be creeping out of the Rock Golem camp with the help of the Ancient of War. Going to eat some trees and tank this Rock Golem for a little while. And the Warden will be level 3 from this if she isn't interrupted by the pesky Death Knight. And Death Knight himself now going after the Null Overseer camp. We have a Potion of Greater Healing and a Cloak of Shadows, which is completely and utterly useless for the Warden. But she can sell it for some gold. And now the Death Knight here is going to finish off this Null Overseer. But going to have some trouble doing that because the Warden is here now. Now has level 2 Shadow Strike. So you can see so much damage. Circle of Nobility looks like it was dropped from that Null. And now the Warden in a little bit of trouble, but can blink away as long as she saves a little bit of mana. And there she goes, blinking away now. And did big damage to that Naga Sea Witch and finishes her off. And that Staff of Preservation sends the Warden on home. So insane play right now from Sonik. That was just super good there. He was super low on health and was just about dead, but that Staff of Preservation saved the day. And now going to be going after the Forest Troll Warlord camp, but I'm not sure if I can recommend that. It's a little bit too close to the undead, so now we're going to have a fight going on at the same time here. And Warden now about a quarter of the way to level 4. And should finish off that Ogre Warrior there. Does finish it off and gets a little bit more experience. And now another Shadow Strike goes off on the Death Knight, and Death Knight may fall here. Death Knight falls. There's so many heroes dying to this Warden. Warden is such a good hero, and I really feel that Warden is a better hero than the Demon Hunter. But I suppose the Demon Hunter does have his place in terms of perhaps against the Archmage or that sort of thing to prevent a lot of mana using heroes like that. But the Warden just does so much damage, and with the blink, able to just blink right past your hero in the path of your escaping hero and get off another couple auto attacks. And now we have Scourge Bone Chimes have dropped for the Naga Sea Witch. So pretty good unit. We'll see if he decides to keep those or not. Sometimes those are just sold, as it's not all that great of a benefit, but it's certainly a benefit to have it. But Tome of Agility +2 is dropped, and pretty good for the Naga Sea Witch. But Naga Sea Witch is an intelligence-based hero. Forest Troll Trapper here going to be finished off. Naga Sea Witch going to get some extra experience. We have a level 2 Death Knight and a level 2 Naga Sea Witch versus a level 3 Warden and a level 2 Naga Sea Witch. Now the Warden back at the Goblin Merchant picks up a Potion of Invisibility, full health, well, nearly full health and full mana. And is now going to come over here to the Undead and see what's going on. And it's going to wait for a good opportunity. Uses Dust of Appearance right at the right time. That was a very nice time to use Dust of Appearance. That was like a Sixth Sense sort of going on there. And now a Lion Horn of Stormwind has dropped for the Death Knight. So very interesting drops for Lucifer this game. He has Scourge Bone Chimes, which is essentially a Vampiric Aura, and he has Devotion Aura. So he gets +1 armor to all his units, which is particularly useful for the Crypt Fiend, although it only gives a 6% reduction, which is, in the end really isn't that much. But with the 2 auras, he's really starting to stack auras. Has Unholy Aura, Vampiric Aura, and Devotion Aura, essentially. So pretty nice. It looks like Boots of Speed have dropped, and he's going to give that to the Naga Sea Witch so she can get away a little bit easier. And Tome of Intelligence picked up by the Death Knight. And now the Warden here moving about. A belt of giant strength has been placed on the Naga Sea Witch, which I suppose is a pretty good idea, just to get some extra health going. Since the Naga Sea Witch has such low health, as you see, 525 on the level 2, and we have a level 3 with 725 with that belt of giant strength plus 6. And we have a level 1 Lich now out in the field for the third hero, and now a battle going on up here. It's going to be farming out the Ogre Magicamp. And the Warden, let's see what the Warden decides to grab. Going to get a Staff of Teleportation, and a Ring of Regeneration has dropped for the Naga Sea Witch. Manual of Health also has dropped. So this Naga Sea Witch has quite an amount of health, 775 for a level 3 Naga Sea Witch is actually quite a bit, which is a joking amount of health for any kind of melee hero in the game. But for the Naga Sea Witch, that is quite a bit. Now an Abomination out on the map, and in the Night Elf base here. Took out a Moonball, now got to back out, and 2 bears right in the face of the Abomination and the Crit Fiend. And now the Naga Sea Witch taking big damage there. Took Frost Nova and the Forked Lightning. Now the Warden in trouble, pops a Potion of Invulnerability and battling it out now. Now needs to just get out of there, as it's not going to last too long, and needs some Moonwells, but doesn't have it. Naga Sea Witch just pounding out arrows here. Level 4, 825 health on that Naga Sea Witch now. So this Naga Sea Witch is just packing health with a Ring of Regeneration as well. And the Warden now ready to go again. Has a Potion of Healing, 250 hit points. Used that. Now going to go after the Lich. No, going to take a Frost Nova, and way too low now again. And the Death Knight in a little bit of trouble. There goes a Shadow Strike, and the Death Knight might not make it. No, he's going to scroll Town Portal, and that will save him for now. And all of the units have left, and that Lich was just about to die from that Warden. Was going to go over there and start auto-attacking. Didn't really have enough for another Shadow Strike there, but now the Ring of Regeneration is on the Warden, so it's been placed on her instead. And always like the Ring of Regeneration on a Death Knight. That was always really good, especially with level 3 Unholy Aura and Ring of Regeneration. It was pretty much unkillable. Your regeneration was so quick. Now farming out the small brute camp here with the Naga Sea Witch. Gonna try and get her level 5 apparently. Nothing too crazy in terms of experience from that camp, but now going to go over to the Ogre Magicamp by the looks of it. Meanwhile, the Warden over here going to try and harass up the Undead base. There are no Nerubian towers here, so she could just run right in here. Other than the Black Citadel, they're going to take out these Acolytes. Doesn't even really need to auto-attack once she uses that. One Shadow Strike will be enough to finish them off. And now the Death Knight going all the way down to the bottom here.
Is under siege. A player's forces are under attack.
Death Knight and the Lich and the Naga Sea Witch all going after the Rock Golem, so we're going to share all this experience, so not going to be a lot of experience split up. A Slippers of Agility and a Wand of Mana Stealing, and we'll see if he decides to sell those Slippers of Agility. It's not going to be really too useful. The Wand of Mana Stealing, some people sell, some people use. I like to use the Wand of Mana Stealing. I always thought it was a really good item. Takes some mana away from your opponent and gives mana to you, so I don't see how that's a bad thing at all, but sometimes you need the money for something else. Now the Forest Troll Warlord camp is going to be farmed out here. Now level 3, and a level 2. And Forest Troll Warlord falls down. A Staff of Silence drops, which can be quite useful on that Warden if used at the right time. Perhaps when she blinks at you, then use that Staff of Silence, and she can no longer use her her Shadow Strike there. So that could be useful. We'll see if he decides to keep that or if he decides to sell that. It's a very, sort of a rare item. You don't really see that all the time, actually.
A town is under siege.
And we have a level 4 Naga Sea Witch to a level 4 Warden. The Warden has pretty much destroyed all of the Acolytes. He's just producing Acolytes. And now the Warden going after the Forest Troll Warlord camp, going after the Ogre Warriors first. However, the Undead's coming right behind. I was barely just going to miss the Naga Seawitch doing this. Still, meanwhile, still taking out these acolytes one after another. So just really, really lowering the economic ability of the undead. Yet at the same time, he's creeping quite a bit. So he is gaining money from these creeps, although it isn't particularly much. An Orb of Darkness is dropped there, which would be good on the Naga Seawitch or the Lich himself, either way. And the Naga Seawitch for Sonik picked up a Scourge Bone Chimes, which is not so good for that particular build that he is using right now. Orb of Darkness on the Death Knight, which I don't agree with. I'd like to see that on the Naga Seawitch because she's using it at range and doing a lot of damage. Now going after this Ogre Magic Camp, but getting attacked right from behind. Here comes the Warden, but the Warden has no mana, so that wasn't really the brightest idea. And Tome of Agility has dropped here. Ogre Magi is going to drop. Didn't see what he had dropped. A Ring of Regeneration, which, see who's going to pick that up. Looks like the Lich is going to pick that up, which is not going to be too bad because he has an Unholy Aura. So it's going to be even more regeneration, so the 2 hit points per second plus the level 2 Unholy Aura. Now the Rock Golem camp being farmed out, and so Lucifer here just farming like crazy. A Belt of Giant Strength now has dropped, and it goes on the Lich. I'd like to see that Lionhorn of the Stormwind go on the Lich, and then the Lich give that Belt of Strength to the Death Knight, so we can just have even more. But we'll see. It does give that Lich a little bit more health, a little bit more survivability too. Now Naga Seawitch and Warden going at it with the undead here, and 3 heroes to 2 heroes. So we'll see what he can do. And the undead player has farmed quite a bit more. A level 4 and a level 4 hero with a level 3 Lich against a level 4 and a level 4. So lots more farming has been going on by Lucifer right now. And Warden trying to get at these sensitive heroes, but was taking way too much damage doing that and loses the Warden now. So now in big trouble here. Dryad's now trying to get away, but the undead army was basically untouched. There wasn't too much lost, really, in terms of the undead. Still has quite the formidable army. So that was a big loss there for the Night Elf player. Now trying to revive the Warden, but it's going to be a long time. Level 4, and just now basically 1/8 of the way done. So not good in terms of having those heroes out. And so much creeping has been done by our undead players, by our undead player Lucifer, that it's going to be hard for Sonik to catch up now. And I'm not going after the little camp there. Gets a little bit of experience split up between those heroes. And we'll see where he decides to go now. Could go to the Knoll Overseer camp here. Another Knoll Overseer camp. And then there's a pretty much a worthless camp here as well. And there he goes. He's going to start grabbing the Knoll Overseer camp. Going to take out these here. And now the Knoll Overseer camp. Knoll Overseer will fall another clause of attack +6. But the original clause of attack +6 was on the Warden, so I'm not going to put that on the Lich there. +11 damage on the Lich now.
Forces are under attack.
Now the Warden diving back into the undead base, hits an Acolyte. Acolyte is probably going to die here. And one more. Nope. Looks like he's going to survive. I think the undead got his aura on him. Just no ties there now. Warden nearly level 5. If the Warden could get level 5, that would be tremendous. There's a dark minion there, but a little bit too late already. Was about to despawn. And now the undead player coming in strong here. And that's a problem whenever he goes in to Shadow Strike. He takes so much damage. He takes a Death Coil, a Frost Nova, and potentially a Forked Lightning as well, all at the same time, and it's simply a little bit too much. Ruined Bracers would be excellent right now on the Warden, but unfortunately you can't always get what you want in terms of the items in Warcraft 3. But and indeed, Rune Bracers would soak up all of that damage, or 33% of the damage, which would be quite significant. Now going after the Warden again. Warden falls again. And it probably would have been a good idea for Sonik to get a third hero, just like Lucifer did. And he simply just didn't creep enough. And Sonik calls GG there. And so it was a pretty good game. Lucifer, the winner, sometimes goes by with Spirit Souls, as you can see, and sometimes Sonik goes by this big, long number. But the stats, for those of you who like to see it, and just pause the video to see the individual stats. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this replay, and I will see you guys next time.